delete.
Oh, we are live.
Yeah, I just pushed the button. Did the tweets go? Are we good? This is the thing that is tough about Restream. Uh, when we're live, we go live without much notification. You guys know if yours flip live yet or not? My YouTube's not.
Mine hasn't.
Chef DI is live. Wonderful.
I'm not live on, I'm live on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I pushed it to all our Twitter. Hi guys. Give us just a minute. We're working through some technical difficulties. Mr. Holding Bags here. Your boy Ben and JFDI and GP and Pratt. Hopefully you're able to see us all on whatever platform. Oh, and Ty. Sorry, Trader Ty. Did I miss you? My bad. It wasn't intentional. I'm multitasking too much at the moment. All right, we'll do this best we can. So we're here at beautiful Stocktoberfest. Welcome, guys. Netflix just reported.
They did. They reported and they're down. Not too bad actually though.
Yeah, they're up considerably off the lows.
Yeah.
Let's pull up that chart, that
You know
beautiful
what?
big chart.
These are not working. I can't see anything. It's okay. It's not too bad.
I'm used to having more monitors to see everything.
Yeah.
So this
Right.
is fun.
We're in Hotel Coronado. Is that the name? Yeah. Hotel Coronado. Del Coronado in Coronado, California, San Diego. We're here for Stocktoberfest. And we're just working through some technical difficulties.
We got a chart on the screen now.
Ooh, awesome. You got a chart on the screen. We're trying to figure it out. We got some community members, Pratt and Ty, with us here today.
A little dumpage there,
Yeah.
as you guys said. GP, where does that stand for the bull market leader? Does it matter? Is it a buying opportunity?
I don't know what the earnings is going on, but where is it in terms of the, Nick, you mentioned something about the 200 SMA?
Yeah,
I don't have it open right now, so.
that's where it's opening. Or I mean, it didn't quite tick the lows didn't quite tick there, but pretty damn close. Like I would have. If I was at my desk, I would have probably thrown or tried the 1150.
Yeah. To me, it's I see that they supposedly missed two. I miss on both ends, but I don't see that. They beat on EPS, looks like. I don't know, man. This is really hard to see on, on a
Yeah.
laptop screen.
Yeah, it's different for us all. And also different for us. This is the first time we've had two guests on the show
That's
at
true.
the same time
Let's go.
with Trader Ty, our boy, and Pratt here. Guys, I know we've been hanging out all week so far here in Coronado, but just from a Stocktoberfest point of view, what's some things that you guys have really picked up on, or what most of you appreciated so far about the trip?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on first. It's really interesting to hear. We were talking to Don Corleone earlier, a couple other guys. Everybody's got a different strategy, a different look at the markets, different things they're looking at that's, influencing their buys and sells. And like part of it is while there are so many ways you can look at the market and make money in the market, and that's like insightful. How can I change my strategy or optimize myself? And then on the other hand, like something I always preach as well is like 98% of this shit is just noise. And you got to focus on whatever those indicators, whatever those things, that guide your buys and guide your strategy. So I mean, it's crazy just to so many different ways people are looking at the markets and trading it. And everybody's kind of got their own niche strategy that they're using and, making money with.
Yeah, first time, long time, but I would double tap that. Yeah, it's cool to hear how everybody's, skinning the cat a different way.
And I mean, even you three, just hearing you guys now in person, you guys like I watch y'all shoot the shit, and you guys have lots of similarities in your strategies, but at the same time, a lot of differences as well. But you can like learn from each other and apply it to your own strategy. And I think that's like what this whole community is about in general, is kind of taking everyone else's stuff, making it your own, and executing your own fucking shit. Sure.
I think what's interesting is while we often might come to the same conclusions, there can be some contested opinions about how we get there.
Oh, only if you guys were at dinner last night with us, it would have been me talking a lot of shit. But other than that, it was a good time, right, Nick?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, honestly,
You gotta unmute, brother.
oh. I pulled up that UNH chart, it was just kind of it was a great conversation. I enjoyed listening to it, both sides. I think it's kind of in agreement with the two of you, like what I've enjoyed the most is just kind of hearing how other people skin the freaking cat, because I don't know, the name of the game is making money, and it's like, I don't really care how. I mean, if I can pick something up from somebody and it like really layers with what I'm already doing, all the better. I was talking to the guy this morning about like these inverse ETFs, and I was like, man, like I really don't day trade much anymore, but I don't know, hearing about these levered ETFs, I'm like, maybe.
excited again.
It was the idea of like trading around like, news events and EPS announcements, and either taking the other side of like an extreme move by way of like day trading the levered ETF, because it's like, say Nvidia gets smoked, gaps down to like whatever. You can either like if you're already long, you could consider adding to your long position, leaving it alone. You could be taking some off the table, but if like you get in the overreaction and you have the access to like a 2 or 3x, don't want to wreck your cost, but want to take advantage of like a monumental gap down again. Like, I mean, whether or not the exaggeration holds, like it could obviously continue lower, but anyways, total kind of tangent. Yeah, hearing other people's
So,
people's
just
ways
one
of
thing. If you were around in 2018, if you remember Volmageddon, make sure you read the perspective of all these ETFs. Some have liquidation points,
Yeah.
right? So I think it was at the time a 3x vol ETF. And if it ever traded over like the 33% move or 40% move, it was some like craziness, it would trigger a liquidation and everyone got liquidated out. So especially as some of these more like 3x, 4x, 5x ETFs are coming, there, but you're talking about like a 20% move on a 5x is 100% loss. How do you manage that in terms of an ETF, right? Like if you're trading a 5x Tesla, if Tesla earnings are coming out, or even Netflix earnings, if you're trading that at 5x and Netflix just has a 22% move, are they now taking money out of your bank account? Right? Like, how does that work? No, they're just going to liquidate. So just be careful and read the prospectus that all of these guys have. It's going to be in the fine print. They're not going to label it out front. They're going to tell you it's risky, but they're not going to tell you what the risks are. So make sure you go through, read, be prepared for any of this stuff. They can be great vehicles, but they can also destroy in a short manner of time.
And now there's more of them than ever, and
keeps on coming.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of these guys employ like covered call strategies and stuff like that, so they're ultimately changing price action or price discovery in a lot of these things too, so just keep your head on a swivel in terms of how price action as these ETFs come to market starts to change in individual names, because every individual name will have its own personality based on how these funds are trading these single stock ETFs. But yeah, it is what it is. We got to adapt to it. Sorry for the background noise, guys. We're outside.
Yeah, and sorry for all the technical difficulties. I think I finally got everything worked out. We're live on Nick's YouTube today, so I'll link that over on Stock Twits. We're already live on X, on GP's account, Nick's account, and mine. So if you're just now joining the show, hey, welcome. We're at Stocktoberfest here in lovely Coronado, California. It's been almost perfect all week. Of course, GP, Nick, Jeff DI, Pratt and Trader Ty. See, I won't forget you this time, Ty.
Thank you.
We're just talking about the things that we've seen, things we've learned already from people, and the networking experience that we had. But Netflix earnings is going on. We saw a quite a bit of a sell off there. GP. We were talking about it a little bit just a minute ago while we were sorting through everything. But for anybody who's just able to join in now, if you want to jump back in on anything you said about Netflix and rehash that, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, so it dropped from what, 1240 to 1150, right, Nick? I believe on the chart, back up to 1180. It's a market leader, and just because it's down a little bit, it's not a big thing, right? Like the fact that it's only down a little bit is probably the thing that saves you in the market. Now, if this had gapped down 20%, like it has in previous times, that's a leader. That's what the leadership will do. So like it's consolidating. If you're looking at the Netflix monthly chart, it's where it bounces, where the 9-month moving average is. It's consolidating, it's flagging. On their earnings call, I would love to see them just whisper a little bit about how AI is helping them transform their business. Even if it says it's saving me $3 a month, it's going to be enough to someone just opened the door of the room.
Well, I think Ryan's going to get.
Oh, okay.
So that might have been him. Who knows? We might have other visitors in the hotel that we don't know.
Yeah, sorry guys, it's all over the place here. Anyway, my whole point is that Netflix is leading and it's not down a lot. It's doing well, and now the conference call is going to probably determine where the direction goes a bit more. So when's that? 5 o'clock, I believe. So hard to see on this tiny screen.
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock right now. 4:17 on the west, or on the east. 1:17 out here on the west. Nick,
Yes, sir.
one thing that I know we're all excited about is tomorrow at this time we'll have something that somebody's very passionate about. Tesla reporting,
Oh yeah.
not just Netflix. So it's like Christmas Eve and Christmas for our friend over there, Gautam.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? I mean, not to go back to Netflix, but I kind of like where it's opening. I'm excited for the market movers to actually start reporting. Because kind of, again, like if we're in a bull, I want to see these kind of gap downs get bought up, and I want to see that to be a kind of a trend that continues. Which in the event of that, there's a buying opportunity.
The ideal scenario tomorrow with Tesla earnings would be Tesla gapping up, and then the SEC releasing a strong investigation into UNH.
Hey, you got to lay off my guy, Lex Trading.
No, it's not on him. It's just
Pratt, Ty. I know you both have interest in Tesla. I don't know, Ty, if you're in Tesla or not, but Pratt, you certainly are, right?
100%.
So what's earnings days for you guys like on significant holdings of yours? Are you looking at buy opportunities? Are you just trying to see it through? Like how do you look at it?
You want to go first, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, for me, and so I don't have any Tesla, but any earnings I fucking hate. And like the reason for that is I'm trying to get into a setup, right? I'm trying to trade a setup and I don't want to trade through earnings unless I have a cushion on that trade, right? Because I don't want to play earnings. I'm not like in the game to play earnings. I'm not investing in this. I'm trading this, swing trading this 2 weeks, month, 2 months. So like I'm always looking at the action after the earnings, of course, for a possible entry. But I'm not playing any earnings unless I've got, depending on the volatility of the name, the implied move. I want 5-10% cushion on earnings, or else I am out on it, even if I like the long-term look, and I'll look for a re-entry after. So like for me, the earnings, like, as much as I like talking earnings, like anybody, like the next guy and, the fundamentals and whatnot from like my trading side of things, I want that shit to pass. So that now I've got 90 days of
They suck.
So I got 90 days.
Earnings suck.
That's what I'm saying. So I got 90 days of beautiful candles and nothing to fuck it up. So I want that earnings to pass, so I got some fresh looks that I can, hold for a month.
I've said it for years. It's just a reason to sell the stock. Like that's all earnings.
It's what?
It's just a reason to sell the stock.
Yeah. So I have a question for you then, Ty. Like, how do you handle things like, now that earnings have passed, not for Netflix, but we have history now, Microsoft and Meta, right? So the setups are there in terms of massive gaps up out of earnings, and they have spent the last 3 months. Are you a long-term holder in these names potentially? And if you are, then how do you handle these 3-month consolidation, 6-month consolidation periods
Yeah.
and earnings crap and crap?
Yeah, so let's say like if it's a gap, it's whatever. Microsoft gaps up on earnings. I'll play the post earnings play, right? So couple days after the earnings, I'm now looking for a pullback in the big green candle to pull back, and everyone knows I like the fucking 920 EMAs daily, weekly. And I'm looking for price now to curl up those moving averages in that earnings move. And like you were saying, sometimes they gap up on earnings and then I'm looking for the continuation. And sometimes they gap up on earnings and they fucking chop around until the next earnings. And chances are I'm already out by the next earnings. Because it didn't curl up those EMAs like I wanted it to, and I'm gonna get stopped out on just choppy crap. If I were to make it that long and I don't have that cushion where I'm confident I could sell without missing the bid and it's fucking craps on me, then I'm out.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
You gotta stick to the rules.
Yeah, and that's
Well, for me, I mean, Tesla specifically, like I've just watched it so much that I feel like 9 times out of 10, it's a nothing burger. So I've been trying to sell covered calls for like the last year or so. But I usually just try to wait through them. Most of my investments are long term, even trades are usually like longer term swing trades. So I usually think of them as kind of like nothing burgers, or typically I have worst case scenario in my head. I'm like, it's just gonna probably gap down and go sideways or whatever for however long.
Are you?
The distraction.
Are you guys looking at it from? And Ty, I know you're not typically in them super long, but do you use those earnings misfortunes like Netflix is currently experiencing as your buying opportunities? Or are you just simply trying to buy throughout the quarter and whatever happens on earnings happens on earnings ultimately?
You know what when we get the crap down, and this even like applies to, earnings is just one event, but we're talking like a couple Fridays ago, whatever, was that Trump tweets or some shit? Those big red candles, when then the next week you get the gap up, like that to me just provides a sweet ass risk level. Like, are we gonna break the lows of the crap? And like Nick was kind of saying, like for the longevity of the bull market or whatever, we want to see those gap downs get eaten up quickly, right? So like if they're gonna get eaten up quickly, where can I risk from? And the answer is, to me, like that big red candle. So like then I'm looking for, is price gonna go back and test the moving averages, maybe reclaim them? So just like bad news, whether it's earnings or anything, I'm like looking at those candles as a potential strong risk level for me to risk against. And if it breaks those lows, then I lost and I move on.
Right.
Sorry, I spaced out for a second. What was the question?
Like if you're in something long term, you use things like this in earnings as your
Oh.
reason to buy, or are you just trying to accumulate throughout the quarter?
More just trying to accumulate throughout the quarter. I feel like typically maybe I have bias with like just names that I've been in, like Coinbase, Tesla, etc. Where if it gaps down big, it's probably not going to be the bottom. I'll probably still buy some because I have itchy fingers. But realistically, like I know that's not the bottom, and I'll probably accumulate over the next quarter or two.
Your fingers gotten less itchy over the years after
Oh, yeah.
earning more?
Oh, way less itchy. Way, like drastically less. It's still bad sometimes because now it's more money at times. So it still kind of cuts me that way, but drastically less.
So like random question, it's kind of for all of y'all. Like, let's say Tesla or earnings gaps down, tomorrow. Like, what would it take for you to say I'm out on this because something about the narrative or the technical changed on it?
Okay,
You know what I'm
I'll
saying? Like, we could always buy the dip because I'm a long-term investor.
I'll
Like,
answer this quickly for GP. He will never just exit it on anything that's earnings related. Uh, you're never going to exit Tesla after one quarter's earnings.
I'm never gonna exit anything on a single quarter, like to judge any.
Me, I've already got one foot out the door, though, right? Like I'm actively looking to rotate out of that into something else. I don't expect that to happen, but I would think of rotating out quicker if something like that happened tomorrow than waiting till it gets to a higher price, maybe. Just because I want to rotate into other things. But I'm pretty confident that regardless of what happens tomorrow, I'm not going to sell. It's not going to be that ugly. It's going to force me out. My cost base is so low.
Let's say, so one of the. Oh, my bad. I had the mute on. I'm mute on my. Sorry, Randy. I'm an idiot. Good story. So I've talked about the research in motion. It was called research in motion. Not
RIM.
that back then. RIM. And it was my first stock buy. I bought like 100 shares, and it tripled and it split, and then tripled again. And I was like, "Oh, I'm the best investor." And then I sold some, so it wasn't a losing trade, but I had bought into the thesis that iPhones can't dethrone BlackBerry because BlackBerry was the most secure physical keyboard at the time. And it was just like, no, these guys are missing the ball. Everyone's switching to iPhones. They don't care about the security. They don't care about anything. And management keeps saying that they keep dangling the carrot, but never delivering the actual thing. So you got to realize when like, if management is stepping away, right? Like I like Tesla, but Elon's lack of motivation at times, and things like you wouldn't have heard him say this before, but a couple of days ago he was like, well, if you're not going to approve my package, then I no longer will be CEO. This is the same guy where you're the Tesla diehard family from the 2013-14 timeframe where he's like, I'll be the last one out. And now he's like, nah, I'm not gonna even be here. So you gotta listen to the cues. I'm not diehard by any means when it comes to this stuff. So you have to pay attention to see what the management is telling you, because they can tell you one thing, but they'd be doing another thing. So you got to focus on it. But it's never a 1 quarter thing.
Yeah.
Ever in any industry. Unless you're rigatoni.
That's what I said.
Looks like Quantum lost their respective 20 days, but I don't have any Quantum on at all at this point.
I love it.
Like the long side or the short side?
No, I just love the euphoria coming out. Like it releases the rest of the market to behave, and it's right in times for earnings. So I'm like, it's a good time.
Yeah, pull up spaghetti bags.
Spaghetti, rigatoni.
Yo, I could not order rigatoni at dinner last night.
I'm not ordering this. Yeah.
I was like, I can't.
Where's rigatoni at here?
I was gonna say,
We're sub
Ion
40.
Q actually looks pretty good, but there's a big pocket in rigatoni, probably down into the 20s realistically. If it doesn't hold
Yeah.
there, then you're like, okay, now it's going back to the teens.
It'll get there someday, I promise.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I'm just saying my computer will eventually show the chart.
oh,
There
um,
we go.
either way, I mean, the argument is literally about when momentum is gonna end in these. Like, I understand you've got some of the content creators and longer term investors like touting this as like the next, like whatever, but
Me.
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like,
Doing.
if you just look at it for what it is and use it for what it is, it's a momentum trade until otherwise. And I don't know, there've been a lot of people looking to like drill the short on this. And I honestly think the short actually looks pretty decent, and I think Ion Q kind of looks good in both directions here as it's touching the 50-day, but at least in Ion Q, you kind of have a double top-esque pivot to play where you can say like, when you look at the chart, you can say, okay, I'm fucking wrong here. If I was looking to I was looking to play Ion Q or one of these quantum names to the downside. Like I'd want to see a test at like 70-50 kind of fail there, like it bounced to there and it rolls hard. If that like that kind of pivot gets reclaimed, I'm like, okay, well, this thing's gonna go back to highs. That's just kind of building out a range. Whether or not it breaks and goes to all-time highs, that's to be determined. But I don't know. I'm not by any means saying that these are a fantastic long-term investment. They fucking could be. They could not be.
I hate
Beautiful to
I hate
play.
last week's candle, right? Like
Well,
I hate seeing that. But I just threw that extra channel up. I think if you wanted to get in this, I think you could maybe buy a little bit here and buy a little bit down to around 32, 33. And if it breaks that 9, I think you might rethink the trade.
Yeah, well,
But I can make a bullish case here. I don't hate it. I'm not long it, so I don't really care, but I could make a buy case for a trade.
I mean, I think like go to the daily bags. Like for me, if I'm looking at this, like you got a clean ass channel going on that now it has broken out of, which indicates it might want to fucking run pretty nice, right? It's broken out of that, a rising channel, and now what do you got, 920 up?
Yeah.
So if on this,
horizontal support right there, right?
yeah, and then if I can get a nice doji here or a hammer or whatever, some type of move now that gets back over the 20, back over the 9. I've got now the 9, the 20 as support. I've got the channel as support. All these different supports that that are working in my probabilistic favor. And, I'll put my stop loss a little bit below that. And if it hits, it gets out. I don't want to sit in this trash. Like, I'm going to try and hop on the momentum train, but if it's not there, then
Well, GP, and like Let me open my mic. GP, just like you did in the AMD trade, right? Like I could conceivably say, I'm not buying this, but I could, if I were interested in buying it, I would say I can buy some now. I can buy some when it gets down to, what is that? Yeah, that's basically the 34, 35 area. And then below that, like I need to reassess if it gets down here to, come on, daily chart. If it gets down here to the 50 daily, all right, like that would definitely be setting up a head and shoulders type of look. But anything above 35, like somebody's going to call it a bastardized head and shoulders, but that would just be good tranche buying on the way down.
Yeah, I think all these names always comes with the risk of gap downs, right? And like, so these are names that you got to be comfortable in your size, that if you do get a gap down, 15, 20, 25%, because it can happen at any point.
Yeah.
These are hardcore Momo names, fundamentals aside. It can go both ways. So you just, like, your position size has to be representative of that risk tolerance that you have, right?
Which is exactly why I don't trade them, right? But I'm saying like you could make that case of there's your pretty clear tranches if you're interested in getting in. And
Yeah.
below that, your stop loss is pretty defined and it sets up a even bigger bearish pattern.
And I was gonna say, I've learned that the hard way. You gotta know the name you're trading and that it does have a risk of a gap down per se, like a name like this, 10, 15%. Because whenever like there's a gap down like that, all you see posted is, oh, it was bad luck. I could have never seen this coming, blah, blah, blah. It's like that's part of the game, and you have to, like GP was saying, position size appropriately because a risk is it could gap down 10 or 15%. And I've definitely learned that the hard way because I'm trading a name that has that potential to gap down like that, and I'm oversized. And you don't want to do that.
Yeah, and so like this is different than, like, I don't think this is a lot here, right? I think this is probably gonna go back up because it's not a gap down. It's a small gap down. It's accelerating to the downside on lowering volume, Nick,
Yeah.
right? You see that? And so this seems very organized trash removal, right? All the it's basically getting out all the euphoria. It's getting out all the people who are like, oh, I'm short. See, I told you so. Blah blah blah, and then rips to the other side is what it feels like it's going to happen here. I don't think it's. I would have in any of this pattern. I would have liked to see a capitulation bar to the upside, right? And we just haven't yet. It's been steady buying volume all the way to the upside. I want to see like the opposite of gold, right? Gold was a capitulation volume bar to the upside. It was one of the best risk rewards on the market. This doesn't give you that. To me, I'd probably be looking to buy support here if I was. Same as you, that. No, in rigatoni.
Jimmy,
Give me your mic. We're gonna go around David, who I met yesterday.
around David, who I met yesterday, is in the chat, and he wants to know one takeaway so far that each of us has from learning from Stocktoberfest, or what we're most looking forward to. I'll go first. I'll make it really short and sweet. We're going on a sailboat this evening, and I've never been on a sailboat in the Pacific, so I'm excited to do that. How many opportunities in my life am I going to get to do that? So that's my favorite thing. But I've learned a lot by just listening to a lot of different folks. So I will now pass it over to Nicholas.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the sailing. I have not been on a sailboat either, so definitely looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the presentations tomorrow. GP, I'm excited for you to get on a panel. I think that's going to be awesome to watch. I don't know. I'm just enjoying the social aspect of it. Again, like hearing the different ways that everyone's kind of doing their thing.
I think innately, just like we were talking about at breakfast, Nick, we tend to be isolated, right? Like we don't get an opportunity to really come together and have a lot of these conversations that we do about theory.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, totally. It's not like, yeah.
Well, I've learned that my internet friends are real.
I've learned I've learned that my internet friends aren't real. As you can look around, they're not just made up characters. But outside of that, it's just I've learned that there's a lot of different ways. I already knew this, but when you're talking to an audience that, like, we're sitting at breakfast today and we're talking about gold, right? And we're talking with a guy from Granite Shares, and I'm just very curious on people's macro takes, because there's so much knowledge if you let it filter in. You gotta be able to filter out the garbage within that knowledge, but there's so much knowledge that's available out in the world. People just need to listen, and getting an opportunity to sit here with people who are not in our Stocktwits bubble circle, whatever the hell you want to call it, is a really nice and refreshing view on markets. And it reminds me that I still need to refine my game a lot more.
Yeah, I guess I would triple tap kind of a little bit of what everybody said. Definitely excited for the boat. That's gonna be cool. Some of the panels excited to hear, obviously GP, but a number of other folks. I was looking through it earlier. I can't remember anything there, but there was a couple things that I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. All right. I think yeah, the biggest thing is just for me. I know there's a lot of ways to do it. I feel like I've known that, but then sometimes I get cornered, or I corner myself rather into like, hey, this is how I'm doing it. This is how I like to do it. And it's not a bad thing. But being here has definitely reopened my eyes of like giving me perspective on even the Lex with the UNH trade and some of the other stuff he's investing in. There's a couple other folks that I can't remember their names at the moment, but just different perspective, which is cool. It's like, hey, there's definitely other areas where you can still do really well. Maybe you shouldn't be like just blocking out some of those other things.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, kind of on that, just talking to everybody here, there's so many different unique market participants. And I think it kind of reminds me of a Mark Douglas quote, which is every moment in the market is unique. And kind of remembering the like, I have conviction in my strategy and my lines and my moving averages, but like in the grand scheme of the way all these other people are trading, they don't mean jack shit in a sense. They mean a lot to my strategy, but like the people are buying and selling for so many different reasons. And I think it kind of humbles me and it humbles, you know, you're just one participant in this massive game.
Yeah, I think one of the big things is, and we talk about it all the time, time frame, time frame, time frame. We're all on different time frames. We're all having different reasons that we're in a trade, right? And it's so hard to say, well, you're wrong about this or right about that, because I'm coming at something about Bitcoin different than someone who's you know, uh a corporate bond salesman, right? And he's looking at his investments completely different than I am at different time horizons and different reasons. What was it, Nick?
Sorry, I didn't, ISRG is always on my radar, and it's gapping up 100 points after hours. Someone mentioned it. It was also, I tweeted out.
The Dawn.
Yeah.
Dawn was all
Was
over.
that Don today?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Look at that beauty.
Wow.
yeah. We discussed it about a month ago. Someone asked about it towards the end of one of our shows. And we kind of discussed the kind of descending channel it was in, kind of potentially putting in a double bottom. Actually, initially when they brought it up, it was kind of drifting lower in no man's land, like somewhere.
Oh. Don.
Anyway, sorry, Nick.
No, I'm just saying, like, wherever it was drifting, and then we were kind of talking about where the pivots were, like the double bottom might confirm what that would look like. And obviously this is one of those instances where let's say if you were buying the lows, this is kind of goes to us or something you're asking about earnings or trading through earnings. If for whatever reason ISRG was on your radar and you were like, I'm gonna try a double bottom on this thing, like you think because March 13th, 14th, you didn't get followed 2 days to the downside there, maybe you'd throw on a long trade thinking that this is gonna double bottom out. It's at the bottom of the range. If that's the case, then it would have made holding, I'm assuming it was EPS that gapped this thing up 100 points. I don't know. I just saw it, but I'm just saying if that's what it was, you got the cushion there right there to hold it through. But if you're buying the breakout, like on a, you know, the confirmation through, let's just say 450 or even like 460. I don't think you've got the cushion there to hold that into EPS, especially on a $450 name. Like the thing, you've got to expect that this thing's going to either gap 20, 50 points in one direction or the other, you know. So even if you were buying that double bottom, you're either so small that you're legging in on the retest of the lows, or you're stopping out if the lows get taken out. And that's a pretty wide stop, keeping you in a relatively small position. So like, I think there's ways, you know, thinking about trading like a piker, it's like, if you want to take a small position and kind of gamble on it, you know, expensive stays expensive. And I think the odds are in your favor to play expensive names to the long side. But anyways, ISRG up 100 points, fucking sweet. Wish I had it on, but I do not. It will be on my radar. I'll probably be if I do find an entry, it'll probably be somewhere versus like 500 to 510. Like if we start to get like a post EPS drift where price kind of moves sideways, I'd kind of like to see price spike 500 and then buy like a close back through it and then play the long side verse 500. But you know, beggars can't be choosers. However it sets up, it'll set up.
I want to talk about. Sorry, I got to unmute again.
Yeah.
Want to talk about what Randy's asking. Any bubble consensus and you know, bubble consensus. I don't think I've heard the word bubble more than maybe a handful of times here at most, maybe 2 or 3 times. I really, yeah, no, I haven't heard anybody talk about any bubble, whether it's gold or AI or the infinite money glitch, right? Like I haven't heard anybody bring that up really. GP? Yeah.
Great Falls is fine. It's I was asked today if this can continue. And yeah, by the non-stock twits guys, and I was like, I'm talking about it tomorrow on the panel, so I can't answer you, but
Oh, sure.
I was like, overall, yeah, at the like we've talked about this in the past before, right? In terms of kind of continue, yeah, it's got the legs, you're looking at cash rich companies spending to build out their infrastructure and the country's infrastructure overall. Those are all good things for us ultimately. And they've taken so much money out of the economy from all the money that they make for the products that people love. And they're now starting to put it in. I think there's room for the upside is what I answer them. But that was the only conversation, Randy, that was even a question about can this continue? Right. And not much bubble talk. People are talking their not their books, but there's a lot of like different partners here too. So I think it's a different crowd in terms of they're here to maybe sell ETFs or whatever. Yeah, whatever their products is. So I think it's a different crowd in general.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, but I mean, like, even between, you know, just us, the you know, the 10 or 20 people that we've constantly been around over the past day and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, there hasn't been, and we're all coming at things differently, looking at different sectors. No one is. I'm not really picking up any slight sense of pessimism in the market right now, and that could be foolhardy. Maybe we should have some pessimism. But just like we talk about when the 3 of us are in alignment on something, it kind of gives you more confidence that your calls are probably right? Like
Yeah.
for everybody who I've met, I've looked at what they've done, or I've seen what they've done. I've been respectful to what their thesis is, and so far I'm not picking up any sense of the music is ready to stop, so to speak. Ty?
Do you pull up the SPY? Sure. Or are we having? Because the whole bubble thing, we were talking about it yesterday, Bags, is like we in the and like GP's obviously talked about this, like in the tariff crash or whatever you want to call it. You know, we retested the 2022 highs pretty much on like most of the indexes or in that area. So like when people say like we're too extended on the indexes, it's like in a sense, and like GP kind of talks about this, like haven't we been in, I don't know if this is the way he says it, but like in a range or like we just retested the 2022 lows and we're almost at the end of 2025. So like how really bubbly or extended or frothy is it if it's price has only moved that much in that long of a time frame in a sense. So like when I look at it on like a long-term technical side, like other than like the shorter daily, weeklies, like yeah, I would argue those are a little extended, or a little extended from like the moving averages I use. Like in those long-term time frames, like are we really extended at all? At least that's like what I ask myself, because like what more could you want? You know, you go test the 2022 highs and then the market bounces and starts marching higher. We're not that far from that. So like hell yeah, I think it has a lot, could run a lot more. And I don't think that would be bubbly or crazy at all in the sense of like how the market moves.
Here's a question for you though. Have you ever, all of you guys here sitting here, have you ever heard anyone talk about the SPY and the rest of the market being in a bubble, and then all you see is charts of how gold is outperforming the stock market? Because that's all I've seen so far.
And more and more.
Right? Like how do you call one a bubble and then call gold stock? Like it's a narrative fit ultimately, and people like to do things like, hey, in April, on April 7th, when we tagged 480 for the 13 seconds it was at 480 to where we are now, we are up 47%. And it's like, no, where were we in February? We were at 613 on the SPY or whatever it was. And where are we now? We're at 670.
Yeah.
So we're up 10% for the year.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Like I can pick any point in time. We've talked about this, right? In any chart, you can make it look bullish or you can make it look bearish, and you can fit your narrative in any scenario. So like how do you parse stuff like that when you're sitting there? You're a little bit less technical, I would say, and more about the fundamentals and long-term investing. When you see these people talking or these charts being posted on how gold is outperforming the SPY, what's your first thoughts?
Go ahead, Brad.
I mean, I try to just zoom out. Like obviously listening, I have my own little echo chambers too, where I listen to things that I tend to believe in, and then that just reinforces my bias. But like I just try to like zoom out, kind of like what you said, like, hey, we just retested the highs. Like if I look back 3, 4, 5, 6 years, this doesn't feel like 2021, 2022, where it felt like towards the end there, like there was no bubble talk. You know what I mean? Like it was like it felt like everybody was super bullish and there was no reason to be wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously it was like probably the most aggressive I've been in my trading or and investing career, but that's kind of how I think about it. Like I laugh at like the gold stuff, like whatever. I'm not really investing in gold. It's run like crazy. But then when you guys post charts, like the insane base, that kind of makes sense. Like that's not surprising, you know? So I try not to pay too much mind if that long-winded way of answering that question.
Nick, just from look, I've got the weekly up here. I showed the monthly, and the monthly is a little overextended on these moving averages. But when you look at the weekly, right, like you've got a check of the 9, you've got a check of the 9, you got a retest of the 9, right, and right back up. To me, that's like healthy churning in a trend. Is that the way you view it too?
Yeah, 100%. I was actually just looking at the weekly on my screen as well. And on weekly charts a lot of time, so I'm kind of like I like to have everything right in front of me, especially visually. So like on my desktop, on like one of my screens, I'll have, so like if I pull up Apple, I'll see the monthly, the weekly, and the daily, like it'll all flip at once. It's right in front of me, right? On the weekly, I actually have two charts right on top of each other. One, they're both identical, except for one of them is in bar charts, just because with only a mark on close. So the 3-week tights that's what I'm always looking for. And
3WT.
I do that so they stick out. But where I was going with this was that I was looking at the SPY weekly, and I'm kind of a Weinstein guy, especially when it comes to like trend trading or like, looking for stage 1 basis, stocks going to stage 2. And then like, I love using the 30 and the 40 week as kind of a zone, so much as like specific like support points or anything. Um, looking at the weekly, every time the 30 and the 40 start to recross and curl, that's like the 30 starts to pull up through the 40, the 150 day or 200 day, right? Like just converted to the weekly chart. We pretty much go on a massive run that typically has lasted like at least 6 months, spanning out to like 2.5 years, just going back to like,
Forever.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So like if again, where I'm going with this is like, I don't think we look extended whatsoever. We've barely even broken out. The only thing that makes it look extended is that we've just kind of melted along the 10-week line. But the 30 and the 40 week are starting to curl through that 2025 pivot high, which I'm like, dude, fuck, even if this thing does pull in, uh, you might like, let's say price does take out that 10 week. You could argue, all right, changing character, behavioral change, maybe get a little defensive, not from a bullish, or I'm sorry, a bearish standpoint, but from a standpoint of like, okay, we might go into corrective mode. Why don't I just raise some cash to redeploy into like better, fresh setups? You can kind of throw some fibs on from the 2025 highs all the way through like the 2025, because I'm just saying, that's where the breakout is. We've barely pulled into the 0.382, so we did have a decent pull in when we had that shake week, but it never broke the 10 week, and obviously we're seeing kind of a reversal. Netflix is enough to get it, I think, to pull the Qs down, I guess, depending on if it weighs on the rest of the mag names, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
So just something to kind of pay attention to, but like trend is strong and it doesn't really seem extended to me. If anything, we're extended from the 150 to 200 day, not so much like
Or
The market.
SPY, yeah.
That's
So-
why it's been consolidating for 5 months, right?
Yeah,
I was just
So-
doodling while you were talking, Nick, right? And we talked yesterday just about, horizontal support is better than diagonal support, right? We're all in agreement with that. And look, I mean, this is just since July, right? Or we'll call it June. This is since June. What do? We grind for a couple weeks, we retest, we go higher. We grind for a week, we retest, we go higher. And we're exactly where we were right before the Friday meltdown 2 weeks ago, right? And this is what we were saying last week on the pod was like, chill out. Like it can be scary when you see something all of a sudden fall at a giant percentage, but there's nothing so far that's indicating that we have anything broken.
We talked about the 6120 level, which was the 100% extension on the fibs. It got sold hard, right? Into April. Then we came to May. We tried to break out. I don't think we did it on the first try, but then we broke out. That's if you're a technical trader, that's a double top. Double top didn't happen, so it's a busted double top. Volkowski talks about this quite often. He's my Bible for a lot of this stuff. And then so the Nick, you talk about measured moves quite often, right? The double top breakouts or the double top busted moves,
Yeah.
it's the range, right?
Conservatively,
Yeah.
because it's likely gonna overshoot it, but on conservative, yeah, you're smart. Yeah.
The measure move is the range of that busted move, and that busted move that range is huge. So think about the potential extension of where we can go from here in terms of trying to get a idea of maybe we get to the 7741 level on SPX now.
They don't make me pull SPX up.
Yeah.
Do it.
Gee.
Wet blanket is there for you to enjoy.
The wet blanket worked. Let me just say, look, it's got a nice little red wet blanket encompassing your green candles. It's perfect.
The blue line up here, 7,700 basically. And if you were a buyer today, that would be a grand total of 15%, 14.5%.
Too bad.
And then GP selling everything because he turns into a perma bear Gotem at that point.
I wonder if it happens on November 6th when Elon's share package doesn't get approved and he steps down. Oh, all right, I'm over it. I'm over the news related stuff. I wish it was all technical, but it isn't, and it's got to be. How do you guys handle the forever growing landmine that is the markets? Like, how do you handle the mental part? Forget the actual trading part. Hi, you can go first.
I guess I kind of said it earlier. I think most shit other than what your strategy is a bunch of noise. And like we talk about, earnings, big red candles.
Yeah.
If I don't like, and then that's not a common setup for me, an earnings red candle. Sure, I want to talk about Tesla earnings and I enjoy talking markets. But I always say it's risk worthy or it's not risk worthy.
Yeah.
And if it's not risk worthy, then I don't fucking care about it. And it's noise to me in like my hopefully money making strategy or whatever.
You're able to parse through it pretty easily. Because the mental part is
Yes. Now, what I struggle with more parsing through is the general market. Oh shit, China tariffs, blah, blah, blah. I think that's even harder because it's easy for me to throw away a name, but you can't throw away the whole market. And there's always that, I think, in the back of everybody's head, in some sense of, holy shit, if the whole market turns through all of these setups, they're gone, right? You know what I mean? So like, I think that's the tougher part. But I mean, just looking at the trend on the screen right now in SPY and like the setups, at least from what I look at, continue to present themselves. And when the market's going to turn, the setups are going to stop presenting themselves. And I won't have setups to take. So if the setup continues to present itself, I'm going to keep taking it. And they're going to work out more often than they're not going to work out.
Yeah. Usually technicals show up breaking before the things actually break.
Yeah.
If we go back to 2022, the Netflix had already broken the 9-month moving average going into earning. So you already knew your bias should have been to the downside for any kind of, it obviously manifested into absolute garbage. Anyway, how do you handle the mental side? Like, do you just go for runs? Do you go lift hard?
I think what's beneficial for me that's super different for you guys is like I work full time. Like I just have so much else that's on my plate that I can't afford to just be like locked in to this piece of it. I can be at times in periods, but like just like work and outside life just takes a lot. So there are days all the time where I just won't even check the market, and it's not on purpose. I want to. But I just can't.
Fair enough.
And just on top of that, I've thought to myself, there's an advantage to seat time, obviously, huge advantage, but there's also advantages to not looking. You know what I'm saying? Like there's an advantage like that can be beneficial too, which I think to myself, like, oh, what if I looked less at this? But random thought.
Yeah, it's out of sight, out of mind is always nice. Ben, Nick, how do you guys handle the mental piece?
I was gonna go with very grounding activities. I mean, it's easy for me, admittedly, because I already love the outdoors. So like mountain biking and hiking probably more than anything. There's something to be said about like walking in the woods.
Yeah.
Breath work, yeah, hitting the gym.
You think the performance coaching stuff has helped as
well? Yeah. I think even the more that I write about it and touch on it, the more I find holding myself accountable. Like it's at the forefront of my mind. So yeah, I do.
Nice.
Grounding. I can't put, if I had to put it into one word, it'd be grounding, because like if you're a poker player, or athlete, that you talk about being on tilt, and it's like, you're not going to make quality decisions if you're not in a centered and regulated, like a grounded state. From there, your perspective, you're going to have a better perspective on pretty much all things. So it's like, if you want to make quality decisions, like get yourself grounded and get yourself into a centered state. That way you're not getting kind of whipsawed by the tweets and whatever. Like it's more than likely that if you're in a grounded state, especially from what we've seen, like probably like the tweets might be a, you know, a buying opportunity. It might be something that's like happening for you rather than like necessarily to you. So, um, yeah, to find yourself in flow and to battle the mental side, grounding.
I mean, I think grounded it's definitely changed for me over the past couple of years, right? Being more grounded, being more family oriented. But for me, it's like while I'm not working full time like Pratt is, I'm disassociated from a lot of market hours right now. And having the conviction to be in the things that I'm in, right? Like I'm content, like the portfolio. We talked about this the other night at dinner, right? Like my New Year's resolution coming into this year was make more money by doing less work. And practically I'm outperforming 2024 handily right now by doing less. I think I've probably shared more charts and things on StockTwits, but that was just because I was doing the research for the things I was rotating into, right? So having that conviction of being, all right, these are my ride or dies, and anything that is not changing what's happening in the business is a buying opportunity. That's kind of freeing, right? That's sort of a discipline that is in the background of kind of everything I do. It's right. Let's not get too worked up about this or this or that. We're outside, so there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. If you can see the guys' window panes. But anyway, again, it's just having the conviction to buy what I'm buying, and unless something tragically turns in the market or something dramatic changes in the business model, I'm content with what I have, and until that changes, then I'm kind of sleeping fine at night, being a husband, son, dad, right? And it's working for me.
Nice.
now.
I think we're gonna start calling it. We gotta get to our sailing soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Hey guys, we're going to have to take off, but we know this was impromptu. We normally do it earlier in the day, and we wanted to catch close. And this is the first time we've tried to have such an elaborate setup, so it's a little bit different. So I don't think we need to call a mulligan on this one, but we wound up with a pretty good show. So thanks to Pratt and Ty, homies from way back. We love hanging out with them. We love hanging out with all the new people that we've met here at Oktoberfest.
I'm
We'll
excited.
definitely, yeah, we're all excited. We'll definitely meet some more folks tonight at the sailing event. We'll meet more folks tomorrow at all the speaking series where we're really excited to watch GP say his things. Randy, we love you. Thanks for always supporting us and be here. You're the best.
Hell yeah, Randy.
Randy's the OG of the OGs.
He shows up.
Randy, you're going to have to send me your phone number so we can put you in the OG Finn Twatterati group chat.
No, Fintwats. That's not a good name.
Well, whatever. I'm being in jest while I'm calling us the OG financial analysts, whatever you want to call us. Anyway, met a lot of great people. Going to have a lot of more fun over the next day and a half, and we'll try to share some of that stuff with you over the course of the rest of the week through twits and tweets, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Some potential new guests coming on. It'll be.
we booked a lot of new people coming on in the near future, so that'll be really exciting. Next Tuesday though, we've got Cookie coming up. We love having the Cookie Monster. It's our quarterly check-in. Cookie is hyped. Like my dog is pumped. He's ready to be on the show. We were hoping to have him on today, but we knew with our schedule today it would probably be a little bit hectic, like it was. So glad we didn't waste his time halfway across the globe. But yeah, Cookie's on next week, so tune in next week. We'll be right back here. We'll all be back on the East Coast for the most part. Nick's Midwest, Ty's Midwest, but the rest of us are going back to the Eastern time zone. So we'll try for that next week, next Tuesday at 12 p.m. noon on the East. So we'd love to see you there. You'll get to hear Cookie and all his eloquent mathematicianisms.
I just want to hear him talk shit.
Mathematicianisms.
That's literally all I want to hear.
Yeah, he's going to rant on. Yeah, he's going to rant on the Perma Bears, and I can't wait. But that's it, guys. Real quick, last word. Mine is
DLO.
Ooh. Data dog. Hi, Mom.
the friendships.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, meet new people. Cheers.
Thanks,
Peace out. Thanks everybody for
Thanks,
watching.
guys.
Take care. Peace out. Thanks everybody for watching. Take care.